Hey Vine friends, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Marie. If you're returning, thank you so much for coming back and supporting my channel. I really appreciate that. Today we're going to be just talking about semihydro. I've had a few questions from you guys on are all of my plants in semihydro or just a few? And so I thought I'd just pop on here today and share with you my favorite plants that are in semihydro. The majority of my plants that I have in semihydro are Hoyas. However, I do have other plants that I've had way longer than those Hoyas that have been in semihydro. And so I just wanted to come on here and share those plants with you because some of them are looking really good, if I do say so myself. I'm so proud of myself because I am not by any means a professional grower or botanist or whatever. I am just a middle-aged girl with plants that I'm sharing with you guys. I started this YouTube channel after I retired to give myself something to do. And one of my hobbies that I love is growing houseplants. And so I thought, why not start my own channel, and that way I can talk about my plants as much as I want to and nobody will tell me to be quiet, because whenever I talk about it here in my own house, my husband, he is a trooper. He will listen to me, he will give me feedback, he'll ask questions, but I know he don't want to hear about these plants all day long. So that's what you guys are here for. And so with that being said, I'm just going to jump right in. All of them live in this plant room on different shelves, different locations here in this plant room, but they all do live in this plant room. And with the top 10, 7 of the top 10 I took right out of their substrate that they came to me in and popped them into the semihydro substrate that they're currently in. The other 3 were cuttings that I had rooting in water and decided to put them into pond or LECA when I decided to pot them up again. So without further ado, let me just show you the very first one, which is probably my tallest plant that I have in semihydro. And we'll go from my least favorite to my most favorite. And when I say least favorite, it's just the least favorite of these 10 plants, because in order for them to be in this plant room, I have to love them, and they have to be bringing me some kind of joy in order to be living in here. So I don't really like saying my least favorite. Let's just call it number 10. And then number 10 is like the lowest, and then number 1 is the highest. So let's start with number 10, which is this philodendron Florida green that I have currently growing on this pole. And I'm going to push it forward, but I don't know if I'll be able to bring the entire thing into frame, so I'll put some B-roll in. But I'll try and pick it up right now so you can see. But you can see me stand. This is all the way. This is on the floor and me standing next to it. And I'm all of 5'1" and a half. Okay. So this plant is literally already taller than me. And not only that, it has 2 vines on this. Oh my God. Oh my God, did you guys hear that? I literally just snapped this thing up. Oh no. So when the stem gets older, it gets very woody. And so you can see that this one did not attach to the pole, and so it started growing back down. And I literally just snapped this vine. So I'm guessing I'm going to have to propagate this part of it, but oh, that's unfortunate. It was getting so long, but at least it still has 2 vines in there. And let me just show you the growth at the bottom. It literally came all the way off. Okay, so we're propagating that. But let me show you the leaves at the bottom because they're pretty sizable as well. So I can't bring it any higher than this because it's going to hit the ceiling, but I'm hoping that you can see it. This has gotten so big for me. It is literally growing in LECA currently. Oh, you can't see that, but I'll put some B-roll in so that you'll see what it's currently growing in. And yeah, it's one of my favorite plants. Like, this is probably one of my top 3 philodendrons that I have in my collection. And I love the growth pattern, how the leaves come in. The leaves have been getting pretty small lately, and I think that that's due to it being very root bound in this small little self-watering pot that I have it in. So this is really due for an up pot because you can see the leaves that were on here. I hit the fan. The bigger leaves that are on here when I had put it into a semihydro initially. This is how big the leaves started sizing up, and I really liked that growth. So I'm going to keep it in semihydro, and yeah, it's going to be full because I'm going to add those cuttings that just fell off back into the bottom. Okay, so let's just jump right into the next plant, and that plant is number 9. It's also in LECA, and this is my variegated Anthurium viridifolium. And I took this plant right out of the substrate that it came to me in, and I plucked it right into this semihydro situation. As you can see, it's in no drainage, and the roots are very healthy in there. There we go. You can see the roots right here. But anyways, so I just keep this filled to right below where the roots are, and I don't have any issues with this plant. It just took off and started growing immediately. There are 2 plants in this pot, and you can see that, let's see, this one, and this one has grown in my care. But this one, this leaf is the leaf that was the newest one before this one grew in. And you can see what a huge difference it is. And I don't know if it's because of the fertilizer that I'm using, or if it's just because it's in semihydro and can have as much water as it wants. But whatever it is, the combination of the 2 is really working for this plant. So that's number 9. So number 8 on my list is this Syndapsis trebii dark form. These plants do not grow very fast. It is a slow grower, but you can see that it is doing quite well in this semihydro setup that I have it in. It is in a self-watering pot that I got from IKEA, and this is Lechuza pond that it's currently in. And I love how dark the leaves are and how shiny they are, and it feels like leather because it's so thick and textured. It just feels really weird, but I love the look of this plant, and it's doing very well in the semihydro setup that I have it in. Coming in at number 7 is my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma, and it is currently in a mixture of Lechuza pond and another pond that I just ordered off of Amazon. But the other pond is a lot chunkier than the Lechuza pond, and I really like the way that one looks as well because it's more colorful. But my Rhaphidophora tetrasperma is doing quite well in here. When I If I can find footage of it when I first put these plants in semihydro, I will put it on the screen for you. But this one came to me as just cuttings. They were barely rooted. I had to put it in fluval stratum once I got it home, and that seemed to help. And once I saw that the roots were established, I went ahead and put it in this semihydro setup with a self-watering pot, and it seems to like it. So no complaints from the Rhaphidophora tetrasperma. Coming in at number 6 is my Philodendron Florida Bronze, and this one is in LECA in a self-watering pot. This pot is also from IKEA, and it is on a wicking system. So the bottom of the pot is the reservoir where the water sits, and it has a wick in there, and it wicks the water up by the wick. And I don't have any complaints about this plant either. This one is constantly throwing out new leaves. These leaves right here are the bronzy color. When they come in, when the new leaves come in, they're this color, and they harden off to this nice green color. And I really love how it just gives it a little bit of color, a pop of color in the sea of green that I have in here. So this is my Florida Bronze. Okay, coming in at number 5 is my Monstera adansonii. And this is just one of the Monstera adansonii that I have. And this is one of the ones that I transitioned from water to semihydro. And this is growing in a self-watering pot with one of the water meters here that I can see. So when the reservoir at the bottom gets low, then I know, because this little indicator will be all the way down here. So this is not Lechuza pond. It's just some pond that I ordered off of Amazon. And it seems to be doing the job well. And I love having this Monstera adansonii on this moss pole, even though I don't keep it wet. I'm so bad about keeping these poles wet, but the roots in this thing has really grown. I don't know if you'll be able to see all of the roots in this pole, but whoops. I started with 3 stems in this pot, but I cut them because I did not keep the pole wet. And so with that being said, the leaves at the bottom did not do well, and you can see that they're still not doing well because I can't keep this pole watered as much as I need to. But it still is, even with that, doing well in the semihydro setup that I have it in. And I like not having to worry about, oh, is this getting enough water? Is it getting too much water? And if you know anything about Monstera adansonii, you know that it is very prone to root rot, and which sounds counterintuitive because I have it in semihydro. But because I grew them in water first, they developed their water roots, and they're doing perfectly fine in the semihydro setup that I have it in. Coming in at number 4 is my Anthurium radicans crossed with luxurians. And this plant is currently in LECA, and it has really sized up its leaves for me and it's even put out a flower that's still hanging on, if you can believe it. This flower has been flowering for like a month now. I have no intentions of pollinating it with anything else. I just was excited that it's my very first flower that this plant has given me. And so I kept it, and I'm just now seeing how long it's going to stay here, because like I said, it's been here for quite a while, and it is a very hardy flower on top of that. But you can see that the leaves that the plant came with were not very large. Like this one was growing all wonky This is one of the original leaves that the plant came with, and this one is as well. You can see how wonky they were growing in, and I don't know what the deal was with that. But when I put it in semihydro, this one is the first leaf that it gave me. And look how big that is compared to the one before that one. And then it gave me this one, and this one is the newest one that is currently hardening off. So it seems to like being in semihydro. I am going to get a better pot for it because I don't like the way that this looks, but I do like the way that it's growing, and I love how big the leaves have gotten on this plant. Okay, so we are in the top 3 now, and I had to include a couple of Hoyas in here or it wouldn't be right. So this is my Hoya rotundiflora. It is in like a 4-inch pot, and it's been growing in semihydro for less than 6 months, I would say, but it has grown quite nicely in this semihydro setup that I have it in. It did not skip a beat. I plucked it right out of the soil that it came in and put it into this semihydro setup, and it kept growing without missing a beat. This is not in lechuza pond. It's actually in all pumice and no other substrate mixed in, and it is doing just fine. When I was looking for lechuza pond, it was quite difficult to find it, and so I started looking at other options of what semihydro growing mediums that I could use. LECA as well as this pumice came up. So I had already tried LECA, so I was like, okay, well, let me just try the pumice, and it's working fine. I don't have it in anything else, but I give it the same nutrients that I give the rest of my semihydro setups, and no problems at all. This isn't the only plant that I have in straight pumice. I will show you the other plant that's in pumice that I absolutely love and adore, and we'll get to that one in a minute. But this is my Hoya rotundiflora that's been growing in pumice. Number 2 on the list is my Hoya crassipedialata. I love the growth pattern on this plant. It comes in like clusters. It grows in clusters. So you can see that there's one little cluster here, cluster of leaves here, and then another cluster of leaves up here. And I really like the way that that looks. And it's in pond, and it's just regular pond that I got off of Amazon, the one where I like the color. I'll have to check my Amazon orders and see what kind of pond that is, and I will put it on the screen for you guys. But I mean, no matter what I've been putting them in, whether it be lechuza pond, this pond, LECA, or straight pumice, I haven't had any issues. I think it's more about the nutrients that you are giving your plants in semihydro and what you're doing to treat them. Now, I know that a lot of people say that you're supposed to flush your plants, and you can see that this one is in a no drainage situation, so it's really hard to flush this one. But maybe every 2 months I do just go ahead and fill it all the way up with water and let it spew out of the sides of it. And that's the only way that I have to be able to do that for this plant. But my plants are doing fine. This is number 2, my Hoya crassipedialata. So plant number 1 is my Ficus Audrey, also known affectionately as Bad Bunny. I'm glad to say that this plant has had a serious glow up since I put it in this semihydro situation. This is the other plant that I was telling you about that's in straight pumice. and I give it the nutrient solution that I give all the rest of my plants, which is the GT Foliage Focus. So this is number 1, my Ficus Audrey, living in pumice and thriving. This is the best that this plant has ever looked in my care. Quite a few of my plants are still in soil. I have been moving a number of my Hoyas over into semihydro, but a number of them are also in Molly's Aeroids mix as well. And so with my Hoyas, they're either in Pon, LECA, or Molly's Aeroid mix. It just depends on if they're not doing well in semihydro and I've left them in there to acclimate and they're still not doing well, I will take them out of semihydro and put them in Molly's Aeroid mix. And the majority of them are in a self-watering situation as well. I don't leave my plants that are in soil in water all the time. I just use it as a means of quickly being able to water my plants. Instead of taking them to the sink, letting them drain and all of that, I just literally add the water to the water reservoir at the bottom and let it wick up. And that's how I water the plants that are in soil. They don't sit in water the entire time. And once they're done drinking the water, they won't get water again until I see that top inch of the soil has dried. So with that being said, I have a number of my plants that are in the living room and my dining room. All of the plants that are on that level of the house are still in soil. And the majority of them are the bigger plants, like my fiddle leaf fig, my huge philodendron bromarks, my corn plants. Those are all still in soil, as well as my pothos. All of my pothos that are sitting around the TV area downstairs are in soil. I do have some pothos that are in semihydro, like lechuza pon. Those are the ones that are by my refrigerator, and I potted those up with you guys because they had been rooting in water for such a long time. It was time for me to get them out of the water, and so I put them in semihydro just to see how they would fare, and they're doing quite well. They're thriving, actually. I don't do a lot of pH testing. I do rinse the pon and the LECA maybe once every 2 months. I strive to do it every month, but with all these plants, there's no way that I can do that every single month for every single plant that I have in semihydro. But also, it's a hobby for me. I wouldn't put my plants in semihydro if I had to do that in order for them to thrive. I know that there are people who grow in semihydro and religiously check the pH level and the light level and all of that. I don't do that here on this channel. Like I said, I'm just a girl growing my plants, trying to survive. Alright, vine friends, that's going to do it for today's video. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, like and subscribe, and leave a comment in the comment section below to let me know if you have your plants in semihydro or if you're still loyal to soil. And I'll see you next time.